America is one of the most diverse countries on Earth, and after ranking cities and countries, it's time to settle the biggest debate of all. Which state is actually the most beautiful? From volcanic islands to glacier-carved peaks, we're counting down the 20 most stunning states in the country based on scenery, national parks, and sheer natural variety. Stick around, because the state at number 1 might surprise you. We're starting at number 20 and working our way to the very best, so save this video now. You'll want it for planning your next road trip. Texas kicks off our countdown. A state so big it holds desert mountains, Gulf beaches, and rolling hill country all within its own borders. Big Bend National Park is one of the least visited parks in America, with desert canyons carved by the Rio Grande and some of the darkest skies in the country. The Texas hill country around Fredericksburg fills with bluebonnets every spring, turning entire hillsides electric blue and purple for a few short weeks. Padre Island protects the longest stretch of undeveloped barrier island in the world, with genuinely quiet Gulf Coast beaches. Palo Duro Canyon, the second largest canyon in the country, cuts through the panhandle in bands of red, orange, and yellow rock. For sheer size and landscape variety, Texas earns its spot to open this countdown. Barbecue smoke, live music, and genuine Southern hospitality round out the experience wherever you land in the state. Virginia opens our countdown with a state that quietly does it all. Misty Blue Ridge peaks, Atlantic beaches, and colonial towns packed with real American history. Shenandoah National Park's Skyline Drive delivers one of the best fall foliage drives in the country, with overlooks stacked every mile along the ridge. Virginia Beach and the Chesapeake Bay give the state a genuine coastal side, while Williamsburg preserves an entire 18th century town you can actually walk through. Wine country around Charlottesville has exploded in the last decade, giving the state a surprisingly sophisticated food and drink scene. Mild winters and a short flight from most East Coast cities make it an easy, long weekend rather than a full vacation. For history, mountains, and coastline in one manageable state, Virginia earns its spot at number 20. History buffs could spend an entire week just working through the state's Revolutionary and Civil War sites alone. Idaho is the sleeper hit of this entire list. Most people picture potatoes, but the state is actually stacked with alpine lakes and untouched wilderness. Sun Valley was America's original ski resort town, and it still delivers world-class skiing without the crowds or prices of Colorado. Sawtooth National Recreation Area rivals the Tetons for jagged peaks and turquoise alpine lakes, yet remains one of the least visited ranges in the country. Craters of the Moon. National Monument looks so much like an alien landscape that NASA trained astronauts there before the moon landings. Hell's Canyon, the deepest river gorge in North America, cuts along the state's western border and is a rafting destination in its own right. For dramatic scenery without the tourist traffic, Idaho is one of America's most underrated states. Hot springs tucked into the backcountry let hikers soak outdoors even after a full day in the mountains. South Dakota punches way above its population with two of the most iconic landscapes in the entire country, packed into one state. Badlands National Park's striped rock formations and rugged spires look like nowhere else on Earth, especially lit up at sunrise or sunset. Mount Rushmore draws millions every year, but the nearby Black Hills, dense pine forests, and granite spires are just as worth the detour. Custer State Park is home to one of the largest free-roaming bison herds left in America, often crossing right in front of your car. The Badlands Loop and Needles Highway rank among the best scenic drives in the Midwest, with switchbacks carved straight through granite spires. For raw, otherworldly landscapes most travelers overlook, South Dakota earns a well-deserved spot on this list. Few states pack this much geological drama and genuine wide-open space into a single road trip. Florida is far more than theme parks. The state holds an entire subtropical wilderness most visitors never see past the coastline. The Everglades is the only subtropical wilderness reserve in North America. home to alligators, manatees, and mangrove forests found nowhere else in the country. The Florida Keys string 100 miles of turquoise water and coral reef out into the Atlantic, ending at Key West's famous sunset celebration. The Gulf Coast's white sand beaches around Destin and Siesta Key are made of pure quartz, staying cool underfoot even in summer heat. Beyond the coast, natural springs like Icatuckney offer crystal clear, constant 72-degree water for swimming and tubing year-round. For beaches, wetlands, and genuine biodiversity in one warm weather package, Florida earns its place on this list. Even longtime residents say they discover a new hidden spring or island every year they live there. Michigan surprises most people with more freshwater coastline than any state besides Alaska, wrapped almost entirely around the Great Lakes. Sleeping Bear Dunes towers up to 400 feet above Lake Michigan, with sweeping views most people don't expect from the Midwest. The Upper Peninsula's pictured rocks, National Lakeshore, carves multicolored sandstone cliffs along Lake Superior, best seen from a kayak at water level. Mackinac Island bans cars entirely, so visitors get around by bike or horse-drawn carriage through a genuinely preserved Victorian-era town. Fall color season across Michigan's northern forests rivals New England, with far fewer crowds and lower prices. For freshwater coastline and quiet natural beauty, Michigan earns a spot most countdowns overlook. Cherry orchards along the Lake Michigan shoreline turn into a full-blown festival every summer harvest season. Vermont is New England's most classically beautiful state, packing covered bridges, dairy farms, and mountain scenery into a place you can cross in a few hours. Fall foliage season here is legendary. The Green Mountains turn into a wall of red, orange, and gold that draws leaf peepers from around the world. Stowe and the Mad River Valley offer some of the best skiing in the East, followed by maple syrup season each spring across the same hills. Small towns like Woodstock and Manchester preserve genuine New England charm. White church steeples, town greens, and farm-to-table everything. Lake Champlain's western shoreline adds mountain-backed water views most visitors don't expect from a landlocked-feeling state. For classic New England beauty in every season, Vermont is hard to beat. Farm stands selling fresh cheese and syrup line nearly every back road between the covered bridges. Tennessee blends the misty Great Smoky Mountains with genuine music history, giving it a beauty most other southern states can't match. The Great Smoky Mountains are the most visited national park in America, named for the natural blue haze that hangs over their forested ridges. The Blue Ridge Parkway continues through eastern Tennessee, delivering one of the best fall drives in the entire country. Nashville and Memphis add genuine cultural weight, from live honky-tonk music to the birthplace of the blues on Beale Street. Waterfalls hide throughout the eastern half of the state, with Fall Creek Falls dropping over 250 feet through dense forest. For mountains and music in equal measure, Tennessee earns a strong spot on this list. Whether you come for the mountains or the music, the hospitality here tends to steal the show. New Mexico feels unlike anywhere else in America. High desert mesas, adobe architecture, and light so clear that artists have flocked here for a century. White Sands National Park's gypsum dunes stretch for miles in blinding white, cool enough to touch even in summer heat. Santa Fe's adobe skyline and centuries-old plaza make it one of the most distinct-looking cities in the entire country. Carlsbad Caverns drops visitors nearly 1,000 feet underground into one of the largest cave chambers on the planet. Balloon Fiesta each October fills the Albuquerque sky with hundreds of hot air balloons against a backdrop of high desert mountains. For desert scenery unlike anything else in the country, New Mexico earns its place on this list. Green chile shows up on practically every menu in the state, and locals take the debate over red versus green seriously. Maine's rocky Atlantic coastline, lighthouse-dotted harbors, and deep pine forests make it one of the most photogenic states in the country. Acadia National Park combines granite cliffs, pine forest, and ocean in a way no other East Coast park can match. especially at sunrise on Cadillac Mountain. Lobster boats work the harbors of towns like Bar Harbor and Camden, where fresh lobster rolls are practically a birthright. The interior holds vast, unbroken forest and thousands of lakes, giving Maine some of the darkest night skies left in the eastern United States. Fall foliage along this coast pairs bright red maples with deep blue ocean in a combination few other states can offer. For rugged coastline and quiet wilderness, Maine earns a well-deserved spot on this list. Even a short coastal drive here can feel like stepping into a postcard from 100 years ago. Oregon crams volcanic peaks, temperate rainforest, and one of the most dramatic coastlines in the country into a single manageable state. Crater Lake fills an ancient volcanic caldera with the clearest, bluest water in America, ringed by cliffs nearly 2,000 feet high. The Columbia River Gorge cuts through the Cascades with waterfall after waterfall, including Multnomah Falls, one of the tallest in the country. The Oregon coast stays entirely public by law, meaning every beach, sea stacks, tide pools, and all is open to everyone. Portland's laid-back food and coffee culture gives visitors an easy home base between the mountains and the sea. For sheer landscape variety packed into one state, Oregon is genuinely hard to beat. The state's love of the outdoors shows in just how easy it is to find a trailhead minutes from any town. Washington state stacks glaciated volcanoes, rainforest, and island-studded coastline into a landscape that feels like 3 different countries in one. Mount Rainier looms over the entire region, a snow-capped volcano visible from Seattle on clear days and ringed by wildflower meadows in summer. Olympic National Park holds actual temperate rainforest, mossy old-growth trees dripping with green in a climate found almost nowhere else in the country. The San Juan Islands offer whale watching, quiet ferries, and small-town charm just a short trip from Seattle's skyline. Seattle itself blends mountain and water views with a genuinely world-class coffee and food scene. For rainforest, volcanoes, and islands all in one state, Washington earns a top 10 spot. Ferries connecting the islands double as some of the most scenic, low-key boat rides in the country. Arizona's desert scenery is so dramatic it barely looks real. Red Rock canyons, saguaro forests, and one of the natural wonders of the world. The Grand Canyon needs no introduction. A mile-deep, 18-mile-wide canyon that photos genuinely fail to capture the scale of. Sedona's red rock formations glow deep orange at sunset, framed by juniper forest and some of the best hiking trails in the Southwest. Antelope Canyon's slot canyon walls curve and glow with light beams that have made it one of the most photographed spots on Earth. Saguaro National Park protects forests of the iconic cactus that can live over 150 years and grow taller than a 2-story house. For sheer geological drama, Arizona is one of the most photogenic states in the country. Sunsets here turn the desert sky into shades of orange and purple that photos rarely do justice. Montana earns its nickname Big Sky Country with some of the most untouched wilderness left in the lower 48 states. Glacier National Park's Going to the Sun Road climbs through jagged peaks, alpine lakes, and actual glaciers, though they're melting fast enough to visit soon. Yellowstone spills into Montana's southern border, giving the state access to geysers, hot springs, and the largest concentration of wildlife in the contiguous states. Flathead Lake is the largest natural freshwater lake west of the Mississippi, ringed by cherry orchards and small lakeside towns. Wide open ranch land and near total darkness at night make Montana one of the best stargazing destinations in the country. For raw, uncrowded wilderness on a massive scale, Montana earns a firm spot in our top 10. Locals will tell you the state feels bigger than its map suggests, and after a few days driving it, you'll believe them. California might have the most diverse landscape of any state in the country. Desert, redwood forest, alpine peaks, and 600 miles of coastline. Yosemite's granite cliffs, waterfalls, and giant sequoias make it one of the most iconic national parks on the planet, especially in Yosemite Valley. Highway 1 along Big Sur delivers one of the most scenic drives on Earth, with cliffside turnouts overlooking the Pacific at nearly every mile. Death Valley and the Sierra Nevada sit within 100 miles of each other, giving California the lowest and some of the highest points in the country. Redwood National Park protects the tallest trees on Earth, some over 350 feet tall and older than the Roman Empire. For sheer variety of landscape in one state, California is nearly impossible to beat. Few places on Earth let you ski in the morning and walk a warm beach the same afternoon. Wyoming has the smallest population of any state, but arguably the biggest scenery, anchored by two of the most famous national parks in the world. Yellowstone is the world's first national park, home to Old Faithful, otherworldly hot springs, and more geysers than anywhere else on Earth. The Grand Tetons rise almost straight out of the valley floor with no foothills, creating one of the most dramatic mountain views in America. Vast herds of bison, elk, and pronghorn roam freely across the state's open plains and river valleys. Jackson Hole combines world-class skiing with genuine cowboy town character, all set against the Teton skyline. For raw, uncrowded natural drama, Wyoming ranks among the most beautiful states in the entire country. With one of the lowest populations in the country, empty roads and open land are basically guaranteed. Colorado stacks 58 mountain peaks over 14,000 feet, giving the state some of the most dramatic alpine scenery in North America. Rocky Mountain National Park's Trail Ridge Road climbs above 12,000 feet, cutting straight through alpine tundra most visitors never expect to see by car. Maroon Bells, just outside Aspen, is one of the most photographed mountain scenes in America, especially reflected in the lake below at sunrise. Colorado's ski towns, Aspen, Vail, Telluride, combine world-class powder with mountain town charm that draws visitors year-round, not just in winter. The great sand dunes rise unexpectedly against a backdrop of snow-capped peaks, the tallest dunes in North America. For sheer alpine drama packed into one state, Colorado earns a firm spot near the very top of this list. Mountain towns here somehow manage to feel both adventurous and genuinely relaxed at the same time. Utah holds 5 national parks within its borders, more than almost any other state, each with a completely different kind of red rock beauty. Zion Canyon's towering sandstone walls rise straight up from the canyon floor, with the Virgin River carving through the bottom below. Bryce Canyon's amphitheater of orange hoodoo spires looks otherworldly at sunrise, when the low light sets the rock formations glowing. Arches National Park protects over 2,000 natural stone arches, including the iconic Delicate Arch silhouetted against the desert sky. The Mighty 5 parks connect along scenic byways that rank among the best road trip routes in the entire country. For the sheer density of red rock wonders, Utah is one of the most visually stunning states in America. Red rock, deep canyons, and star-filled night skies make this one of the most photographed states in America. Alaska is bigger than Texas, California, and Montana combined, and nearly every acre of it looks like something off a postcard. Glacier Bay National Park lets visitors watch massive walls of ice calve directly into the sea, an experience found almost nowhere else on the planet. Denali, the tallest peak in North America, anchors a national park so vast it has almost no roads, just wilderness in every direction. The Inside Passage winds through fjords, forests, and whale-filled waters, best seen from the deck of a small cruise ship or ferry. The Northern Lights dance overhead for months each winter, drawing visitors willing to brave the cold for one of nature's greatest light shows. For scale and raw wilderness that no other state can match, Alaska earns a firm spot in our top 3. Very few places on the planet still feel this wild, this remote, and this untouched by crowds. Hawaii takes the number 2 spot with volcanic islands, waterfall-lined cliffs, and turquoise water found nowhere else in the United States. The Nepali coast on Kauai rises in razor-sharp emerald cliffs straight out of the Pacific, best seen from a boat or a multi-day hike. Maui's road to Hana winds past hundreds of waterfalls and black sand beaches on one of the most beautiful drives on the planet. Big Island holds an actively erupting volcano at Kilauea, along with snow-capped Mauna Kea, giving one island two completely different climates. Beyond the scenery, native Hawaiian culture, hula, voyaging, and the Aloha spirit gives the islands a depth most tropical destinations can't match. For volcanic drama and genuine culture wrapped in paradise scenery, Hawaii earns one of the top spots on this entire list. It's no surprise the islands consistently top lists like this one. The scenery here is simply in a class of its own. That's our countdown of the 20 most beautiful states in America. From desert canyons to alpine lakes, this country packs an almost unfair amount of scenery into 50 states. Whichever state you visit next, go in the shoulder season if you can, book national park entry ahead of time, and always check trail and road conditions before you head out. If this helped you plan your next trip, subscribe for more travel guides and countdowns, and tell us in the comments which state you think deserves to be higher on this list.